All right, let's get right to it, Rob G. Just the news that shook me and Kelvin today.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was a joke.
Right, and it did, and this is why we're going to start with this. Again, we're going to get to the AFC and NFC championship games. So we're going to get to all that, the storylines. But this is something that hit us today.
Guys, it can be argued that the Buffalo Bills head coaching vacancy is far and away the most appealing vacancy in this cycle. Whether it's been filled or not filled, get a chance to work with Josh Allen on a perennial contender. It's a fantastic job. So naturally, they got their pick of the litter when it comes to coaches. Well, earlier on Friday, the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, apparently, we'll get to that part later, interviewed the head coach from St. Michael Catholic High School in Fairhope, Alabama. That's right, former NFL quarterback Philip Rivers was interviewed today for the head coaching gig with the Buffalo Bills. We don't know how it went, but we know he had the interview, and he is being seriously considered, so much so that Vegas currently has him with the second best odds to get the gig.
And Kelvin, I'm just going to say, I've been covering the National Football League since 1987. This league, more than any other league, just bothers me because we see the same thing over and over. The goalposts are moved for people to get opportunities. At one time, black assistant coaches couldn't even get interviews.
Yep.
That's why they implemented the Rooney Rule that forced owners to even interview. Forget about hiring. Here we are in a job cycle. 10 head coaching jobs open. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I don't believe a black coach is going to get hired. We've talked to a couple NFL reporters.
They don't have any candidate.
They couldn't even give you any names, okay? And we already know. With the Vikings,
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores. I just don't see him getting hired as a head coach with a pending lawsuit against the NFL. If they hire him, I'll say I was wrong. I just don't see that. But the idea that we already saw the Colts hired Jeff Saturday, who came right out of the TV studio with zero coaching experience.
Yep.
And now the idea that they love Philip Rivers so much that they allowed him to play, making a mockery of the NFL at 45 years old after not playing for 5 years. Now they want to hire him and make it because he coaches his kids in high school, that they're going to make him an NFL head coach. And this isn't about hiring people because they're black. This is about opportunity. When you go to a pool of people, how can a league be roughly 67% black? Guys who've played the game, they're coaches around the league. There's right?
Yeah.
And they're not in the mix. Something's really wrong when they can't be in the mix. And I'm just, if they've hired a black coach with no experience right off the studio, like you look at some of the guys at ESPN who are dying for opportunities, they're still sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
And those guys never
Why
get hired.
hasn't Louis Riddick gotten a job?
He's been looking for a general manager job, but you know what? In Atlanta, what do they do? Matt Ryan. No experience. Hey, Matt, go ahead, buddy. You know what?
Philip Rivers can possibly be a head coach of one of the better teams in the league.
And this is my point.
Not ground zero, work your way up, some new franchise or something like that.
It's disgraceful. It's just disgraceful.
Yeah. I look, man, I talked to Rob G on the way in, and I said, there's somebody listening right now, Rob, that's going, oh, here we go. Why does this have to be a thing? Not understanding that these are conversations that me and you don't want to have. In a perfect world, meaning we wouldn't have to have these conversations. We wouldn't have to highlight these types of things. Where you brought up the Rooney Rule, and the Rooney Rule was to even just say, get them in the room. Just can you interview somebody?
Because you can't hire somebody if you don't interview them.
Can you at least just have a cup of coffee with them and say, hey, what would your philosophies be as a coach? And then make your decision.
Wait a minute. By the way, what would be your philosophies of being a coach? Humor me.
Humor me, because we already got our guy.
Right.
We're just checking you off the list. So I go back to this. Somebody saying, well, I don't get what's the big deal. This is why it matters, Rob. You know what they were saying 25 years ago, 30 years ago? Black quarterbacks in college couldn't be a quarterback in the league.
Right.
They weren't smart enough. There's literal documentation that NFL leaders and owners and everyone thought they weren't smart enough. They didn't possess the mental capacity to be a quarterback.
Mind-boggling.
Right? Now, I didn't say 1928. We're talking 88. Doug Williams wins the Super Bowl and can't really get another opportunity.
Destroyed records in the Super Bowl.
Destroyed records. Tony Dungy was a quarterback.
Right.
You ain't know that.
He never played quarterback in the NFL.
You didn't know that.
Because they moved him to a DB, didn't they?
You didn't even know that. There's so many. Warren Moon had to go play in the CFL.
He won championships in the CFL before he got a chance.
100%. So my point is, it's you can't really be in the league. Then it's okay, you can be in the league, but you definitely aren't playing the prized possession of quarterback. All right, now we're seeing quarterbacks, mind you, taking over the league. But all right, you can be quarterbacks, but you can't be coaches. All right, well, you can have some assistant coach. You can't be a head coach. You for daggone sure really aren't GM or general managers. It's a handful. And you for sure aren't being an owner. And so the reason why these conversations are needed is because the loud messages it screams to the youth. You can go play. You can go tackle. You can do all that. That's where it stops.
And I want to say this. I got a tweet from a young brother online.
Uh-huh.
And his message to me was, well, just go buy your own team and then you can hire whoever you want, which is just a cop-out. Okay? Because I said, well, wait a minute. Can we look at the NBA? There are 0 black owners.
Mm-hmm.
0. Is hiring black coaches a question mark or a thing in that league? Absolutely not. And if you want to talk about making change, the NBA made change. You know how? Because Donald Sterling said, don't bring those black people and all the derogatory words to the game. The players got together, went to Adam Silver and said, hey,
we ain't about to play tonight.
We are not playing the playoffs if this guy's going to be an owner in the NBA. How long after that was he still an owner in the NBA? So don't give me that you can't make change. You can make change. Mm-hmm. It's about opportunity. If right now in the National Hockey League, which is, I'm going to say, is 99% white, 99% white. If 98% of the coaches in the national were black,
I know you. Yeah.
Wouldn't people go, what is this?
Yeah.
This is bizarro world. This makes absolutely no sense.
Or all women.
All women. Come on, dude. Don't be dumb. Don't act like this doesn't matter and, it's just about hiring the best person. It can't be because Jeff Saturday wasn't the best person, wasn't qualified. God forbid you hired a black guy off the street or out of the studio like Jeff Saturday.
Lomas Brown. And let's take another offensive lineman. Hey, Lomas, just come straight in and
out
coach.
Of the radio booth. Come out.
And go coach the Lions.
But I did, in doing our due diligence today, I did go and
the league said
get
something?
a comment from the league.
What'd they say?
There's not going to be anything left for the white people. I mean, all the players are black. I mean, the only thing that the whites control is the coaching jobs. Now, I'm not being derogatory about it, but that's all that's left for them. The black talent is beautiful. It's great. It's out there. So the only thing left for the whites is a couple coaching jobs.
Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't the clip.
That wasn't the clip?
That was Jimmy the Greek Schneider.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Okay, but it sounded like that would be the clip from the league right now.
But it just looks like 30, 40 years later, that wasn't a crazy statement. That could be apropos in 2026.
Think about what he said, that would be the only thing that white guys control on the jobs. Yeah. Jimmy the Greek Schneider back in, what is that?
80-something.
80-something said that. Here we are. 2026, 10 job openings. Head coach. We haven't had this many openings in a long time in the National Football League.
A third of the league.
Unbelievable. We want to hear from you.
All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.